What's up everybody, my name is Darth Jeswick and welcome back to my channel. I decided that today we were going to be renovating the Roomies house because they are some base game townies that live in Oasis Springs and I just really enjoy building in Oasis Springs. And if you don't know who the roommates are, they are Zoe Patel, Mitchell Kalani, Jay Huntington III, and Gavin Richards. I believe that they are supposed to be a parody of the show New Girl. Zoe is obviously Jess or Zoe Deschanel. I believe Mitchell Kalani is very much like Nick because he's in the mixology career, and in the show, Nick is a bartender. Jay Huntington the Third is like Schmidt. He's like in the tech guru career. He's, very smart, kind of very witty, very much a bro. And he is like a bro, like he has the bro trait. And Gavin Richards is like very much like Winston. Winston in the show is a former basketball player who kind of bounces around at jobs. In the game, in The Sims 4, Gavin is a best-selling author. Well, not a best-selling author. He's in the writing career when you first load up the game. I'll go into a little bit more detail later on in the video about their personalities and their traits, as well as their aspirations. As you can see, I'm very much embracing the mid-century modern style home. We've got this big long hallway that connects all of our bedrooms as well as two of our bathrooms. We have 3 bathrooms total. And in the end, this house ended up being about 68,000 simoleons. So it's pretty achievable for really any Sims. I was pretending that Jay Huntington had maybe gotten a loan from his parents so that they could build this new house. I don't know. Jay Huntington just sounds like a very rich name, especially with the third added to the end of it. And we're just getting into the kitchen right now. I was trying to figure out what tiles I wanted to use because I was trying to go for like this yellow and blue scheme. At first, I just used this high school years tile and a base game marble flooring, but I believe I end up changing the tile to a different swatch of the same tile. It's not without the blue, it just has like the gold accents on it instead. And I made this kitchen huge because we have 4 adult Sims in the house. Everybody's probably going to be going to work at different times, coming through, so I wanted to just have tons of space. It took me a while to figure out the orientation of this kitchen, but I knew I wanted to have this like built-in bar moment. I'm using some of my favorite counters from Dream Home Decorator. I love this color. I love these counters. It kind of really matches perfectly with the orangish tile that's on the walls. And then I also added some Dream Home Decorator bar stools. And I cannot say enough about this Growing Together pack as far as like the build buy stuff goes, as well as high school years. Like with the last couple of packs, like including Horse Ranch, their build buy stuff has just been so incredible. The game functioning is come and go, but the build buy items have just been amazing. I also added this little drink tray because it's super useful when you're having parties for your Sims because you can just serve like 8 drinks at once. I'm just putting a little trash can outside so I don't forget it because I always tend to forget the outside trash cans when I don't use the money generating trash can. And then I put a couple windows just above the stove looking out into the driveway just for a little bit of extra light. I also added a couple bigger eco lifestyle windows on the side of the dining table because it was really dark in there. Like it just felt so dark, and I don't know if it's because I had a lot of windows or not enough, so I just started adding more, as well as a bunch of those little saucer lights just to give me as much brightness as possible. I don't know like what was up with the lighting on this lot, but it was awful. You can see I'm adding some couches here, trying to get a feel for the space. And I never really used the base swatch of the tiny living love seat because I'm never using like yellow and blue swatches of anything. So that's kind of what I used to inspire this living room and basically the rest of the house. I also wanted to use these Growing Together shelves because I don't think I've ever used them in a build before. Like maybe when Growing Together first came out, I think I maybe have built a rec center, but I don't think I posted it on YouTube because it was before I was actually posting on YouTube. But I think that's the only time I've actually used them. You can see now I've switched the wallpaper in the kitchen to the lighter yellow, and I've also added this Parenthood pack couch and this new rug from the horse ranch pack. I love this rug. There's so many good swatches on it. Oh my god, I can't say enough about it. And look at the blues. They match almost. The rug blue is a little bit paler, but it's still like a very similar color to the blue on the tiny living couch, and I love it. I've also added a light above the bar area here just because it was really dark and it also seemed like it just needed something there. Like I didn't know what, but it just needed something. So I added the light and I feel like it makes it look a lot better. And when I was growing up, I had a bar similar to this and my mom had like those rail lights above it. But that's not really important. I'm just getting in some blank base game wallpaper. I was really trying not to use a ton of packs on this house. I ended up using like 30. So I apologize about that in advance as far as downloading it goes. And we're going in with my favorite curtains, the Desert Luxe curtains and the curtain rails. I didn't really know what to do with this little hallway here, so I added these like gallery paintings and kind of adjusting them so that they looked nicer. And then I also added a little ottoman over here too. Moving on to the actual living room, I've added a Growing Together couch and a Dream Home Decorator coffee table, as well as a little tiny TV, and a Dream Home Decorator bookcase and desk combination. They actually snap together, which is pretty cool. I struggled a little bit with finding a rug that I wanted to use until I found this like very beige-ish swatch on an industrial loft kit rug. And it looks like it could be like faux fur, so I wanted to use it because it looks really cozy. I also struggled a little bit with finding a chair that fit in there. I ended up using this little ottoman from Snowy Escape. It has some really cool swatches on it if you don't actually know, because the first swatch is like a little, like, something that you would almost think is for kids. It's like a little dumpling, I think. It's really cute, but it also has these cool other, like, neutral swatches on it too. I also just want to say that I love the pillows on the Growing Together couch. They look so comfortable, and they're so well done too. Like the patterns on them. We have a couple of like little cork boards in the base game, so I threw one of those above the computer and added these like eco lifestyle stack of paintings on the floor next to the bookshelf. I just thought it looked like they hadn't gotten around to like hanging the pictures back up yet. And then I put a high school years fuzzy rug underneath of it. I also grabbed them a handiness table. I realized I didn't really have a ton of activities for them yet, so I started adding like some guitars and this camera for Zoe because she wants to be a friend of the world, and like I know we can't do it anymore, the whole picture glitch where we'd basically be friends with somebody after like just taking like 2 sets of pictures with them, but I still thought it was a nice little Easter egg almost. And then to finish this room off, I added this new painting from the Horse Ranch pack. They have a lot of really cool swatches on it. Then I started working on the smaller bathroom. I wanted to have like another shower in here because there is 4 adult Sims. They're probably going to be showering and like using the bathroom all the time because they're constantly making drinks for each other. Added some clutter to the sinks because we have those slots now, just like some toothbrushes and some soap. And then a couple towels, as well as like this little rack from Tiny Living. To finish it off, I added the like under the toilet rugs from the new bathroom clutter kit. As for these bathrooms, I pretty much did both of them the same. I added some Dream Home Decorator counters and a couple sinks. I didn't add a ton of clutter to this build just because I wanted it to run really well, especially if you're just placing it and then you weren't playing in it, you were just like maybe visiting if your Sims had friends that lived in this house. Like pretty much all I did was add a couple of towels and like some, soaps and bath salts and things to them, and a couple of rugs. And like I said, I did pretty much the same thing in both bathrooms, just oriented differently. And then I added these like long mirrors from the base game just because I had this huge counter and I couldn't justify putting like a tiny little mirror above it. And I had to use the new toilet paper from the bathroom clutter kit just because I like it a lot. It's very sleek and a lot more modern. Did want the clutter in the bathrooms to be different though, so I used a couple of different items from the bathroom clutter kit, the toothbrushes and these little lotion bottles as well. A couple towels, we've got quite a few Sims in here, so we're gonna have towels everywhere. But we are moving right along to the bedrooms. I'm painting the boys' rooms blue, and I think Jay Huntington's room is actually like a very pale green, and Zoe's room is all pink. So I did want to go and chat about these Sims. So first of all, we're kind of working on Jay Huntington's room right here. I wanted to get his done with first because he's probably my least favorite one of the bunch. I don't know why. I ended up having one of my Sims in a personal Let's Play marry him for money. But don't worry, they got divorced after she got pregnant. It's alright. She's gonna be a single mom, and that's kind of like the storyline that I wanted to play with. You know, Jay Huntington is very non-committal. It's actually like one of his traits, aside from active and high metabolism as well as bro. He has the high metabolism from the bodybuilder aspiration, but he's into fitness, mixology, programming, and video game. He's got skills in all of those, like at least level 2 in all of them. So I decided to give him a computer and a little desk over here, as well as a punching bag. I also used the Moschino dresser and sized it down a little bit because it was just a little bit big. Then I gave him this little tiny living nightstand and a couple of lamps just to bring in some more light to the room. Then we started working on Mitchell Kalani's room. Now, Mitchell has the joke star aspiration. He is lazy, outgoing, a bro, and gregarious. That's the bonus trait from the joke star aspiration. But he's actually a assistant dishwasher in the culinary career. Now, I don't know if that was like a game that he got through Neighborhood Stories, because I do kind of play and test my build save a lot, so I'm not sure if that was something he came with, because I thought that none of them had jobs, so that might be something that the game has generated for them. Now, I'm trying to stick to like a blue theme for his room as well as Gavin's, but I use a high school year's bed, just like I did in Jay Huntington's room, as well as some lamps from the bowling pack. And then I lined these rugs up so that they kind of made like a perfect circle around the bed, because I liked this rug, but it wasn't big enough. Like, it was like being eaten by the bed, I felt like. And I have 2 different nightstands in this room. I thought that that was a nice detail because, you know, he's a lazy sim. You know, maybe he was too lazy to drag home 2 of the same nightstand, so he just put a bunch of these suitcases next to the bed and used that as a nightstand instead of just buying 2 nightstands. And next we are moving on to Zoe Patel's room. You know, she wears a lot of florals and yellow. I gave her the cottage living bed. I love it. It's so cute. I feel like it really matches her aesthetic. It also kind of matches the dress that she wears in game, except it's pink. And in my game, she didn't have a job. I did give her one once I was done building this house. But since this is like loosely based off of New Girls, I decided to make her a substitute teacher in the teaching career that comes with university, because I feel like that just made sense. Because in the show New Girl, Jess is a kindergarten teacher or something like that. Now, Zoe has the Friend of the World aspiration. She is cheerful, clumsy, a goofball, and also gregarious from the Friend of the World aspiration. She has got a couple skills in like charisma, logic, and mischief. She's got like level 1 in all of them, like almost full. And because she's a teacher, I decided to have these like little Strangerville posters that have all the elements on them, as well as giving her the element table, because Oasis Springs has tons of collectibles like all over the world. And I've noticed that that's something that they don't do a whole lot with some of the other worlds. Like San Sequoia doesn't really have a lot of collectibles. And neither does like Copperdale or Moonwood Mill, which is like the werewolf pack and the high school pack. I've actually only completed the elements table like 1 time, and that was for like a not so berry challenge. Like the mint generation, I believe, has to finish the elements collection. And my first Sims lived in Oasis Springs for that challenge because there was so many collectibles in this world that you could just like, there's like even behind this house, there's like 4 or 5 of them. But with that being said, we are working on Gavin Richards' room right now. I used the futon bed from City Living. I also gave him this cool gaming setup from high school years, as well as the piano from City Living. I like how compact this piano is compared to some of the other pianos. Now, technically, Gavin Richards is in the best-selling author career, and he's a blogger, but I wanted to give him this like really cool streamer setup by adding these lights from the Moschino pack, Gavin has the best-selling author aspiration. He is creative, a neat bro, and his bonus trait is a muser. He has the logic and writing skills, like level 1 in both of them. I put up some string lights because this is a streamer bedroom, and this university whiteboard that has like a calendar on it so that Gavin can keep track of all of his streaming dates. The back looked kind of empty here, so I added all these records from high school years above the piano. And then I moved on to the backyard. I wanted to add like a small lap pool. I also use my favorite fence of all time, the get-together fence that has these little plants in the corners. Then I added a little walkway to get from the garage and car park to the pool. We're getting into some of the landscaping now. I'm just kind of getting some of these aloe plants and agave plants kind of here on the side by the car park, as well as on the other side of the little fence here. I also did the same thing over here, only instead I added a couple of Strangerville plants just to break it up a little bit because I wanted to have like a little barbecue area out front because I didn't really have enough room in the backyard because the grill didn't look good in front of those windows in the backyard, so I put the bar there instead, and then I added a picnic table from the Perfect Patio kit with this big fun umbrella above it. You know, it matches what we've got going on the inside with the yellows and the blues, so I just added a few chairs. I did end up making it just a touch bigger because I wanted to add a few of the round planter boxes from the base game in the front of the house just for some added gameplay. And that was pretty much it. I did some lights afterwards, as well as adding like a few last minute things, the attic stack box, and another plant here or there. But that is the end of the speed build, and we're getting into the playtesting portion of the video. So we've just got everybody's rooms back over here. I've already assigned everybody their beds so that they should just go to sleep in their own bed and not somebody else's. We've got Jay Huntington already working out. Mitchell here is working on his joke skills. I put a mirror in front of it because I thought it'd be funny if he was like looking at the mirror when he did his little jokes. Zoe is enjoying our living room. And this is kind of what it looks like when everybody's like in their rooms. And this is the finished outside of the build. I added a few of these like lollipop topiaries to the outside and a car from Debug. But as always, I hope you all enjoyed this video. You can find all of my builds on the gallery at Darth_Jeswick, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye everybody.